Hey everybody, it's Nikhil. I'm back with another reaction video. So this video today is from Choice TV. It is Why Queen Naija is the problem, the true narcissist. Lord, y'all know everybody's favorite thing to do on social media is to blame Queen Naija. So now we got a whole video about it. It's about 26 minutes, so pretty lengthy video. I'm gonna try not to do too many stops. But y'all know me, I be having to say what I need to say. So hopefully we can keep it a good amount of time for this reaction. So let's get into it immediately. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, and let's see what's going on.
And if anybody watching this knows Queen or is Queen is watching this or Clarence is watching this, please do me a favor. Queen, shut the and stop involving both these people into your beats. Stop trying to make yourself out to be the victim. Queen has made a whole empire and a whole career and gotten so much gain from being the victim that she has literally immersed herself into this role. And that's why she plays victim to Chris, then she plays victim to Clarence, and then you got these two people hating each other who don't even really know each other, who probably never even had a full 5-minute conversation.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer
Woo!
discretion is advised.
Hi, my loves. It's Destin Choice, and you're watching Choice TV. So, for today's video, I decided to get on here and finally, after all these years, make a nice breakdown about Crispy and Chris.
I remember this video. I think this is the video. It was a prank. Oh, I'm pausing already. My bad, y'all. Okay. It was a prank where Chris had another girl in a bed or like in the house, and it wasn't like a mannequin or nothing. It was a full female, and they was about to fight. It was definitely scripted for sure, but it was entertaining. I'm like, what are they doing?
Cream, Chris and Quee, and Clearance Rack. I personally don't talk about these people anymore because honestly, that era of YouTube is done. You know, there was a point in time where the fat back computer shaped ass bitch, also known as the Mona Scott Young of YouTube, was managing all these influencers, and she had them doing all these fake pranks and doing all these problematic scandals to get viewership and engagement.
Argue with you, like you ugly, bro. Show your face, bitch. You sound ugly as fuck. You sound ugly. You sound like one of them black burn ass bitches, bro. You got me fucked up, bro. I'ma slap the shit out you, nigga.
And I personally checked out of them literally 3 years ago. Like I just stopped caring. Like I last time I checked, Queen had a new baby, and after that, I just didn't care anymore. But people keep asking me to make a video about this because, as we all know, clearance rack and pop sales have gotten into it, and it's pretty much escalated to the point where there's low blows, and now it's gone to a point where things have escalated and personals are being put out there. Personally, I actually used to be a fan of Chris and Queen. I used to watch their videos frequently. I thought they were entertaining. I thought they were a cute couple and
Same,
everything. But then
same.
I kind of had to check out when I started finding out that Chris was cheating on Queen. Not the cheating scandal that y'all know. Like I've been knew Chris was cheating on Queen. I'm talking about the cheating scandal that came out way before, where he was allegedly messing around with a trans woman.
Here's the evidence that they had chats on FaceTime or whatever.
With the baby. Oh man, sometimes I love y'all. A black man, I love y'all, but sometimes.
I'm not mad, just disappointed. And if things don't work out between y'all, then yes, we can give us a chance. But as of now, I want to take everything slow and start off as friends. I'm telling you, we're not married.
But what really kind of set me off was,
Whoa.
if y'all didn't know, a few years ago, years ago, not even a few years ago, Chris and Queen decided to fake a miscarriage. Y'all remember that? Well, let me refresh your memory. Several years ago, I'll say back around 2017, 2016,
I
Chris
remember
and
this.
Queen decided to get on camera and fake a miscarriage. I assumed that maybe Queen didn't want the baby anymore, but they made all these videos, gender reveals, and all types of stuff talking about the baby, and they can't wait for their new baby to come, and much more. Then out of nowhere, they came on camera, they got on the internet and said that they were probably going to miscarry. Now, everybody thought they were full of shit when they got up there and said that they were probably going to miscarry. But then it got to a point where they decided to sit up here and say, okay, well, people don't believe us. Now we're going to try to like make it, clear we're going to have a miscarriage. Chris decided to record Queen miscarrying. Yes, this literally happened. Chris decided to record Queen miscarrying, and she was like she was about to take a big ass doo doo or some shit, and she was constipated. And Chris decided to record the whole thing saying, "Damn y'all, pray for us. This is crazy. I can't believe that. Like that's when I was like, are you fucking serious? And then they literally had blood foot tracks on the floor and everything. And then Queen had a big ass oxygen tank in the fucking passenger seat, like look like looking like Scream, like with a big oxygen tank. And I remember just thinking to myself, yo, fuck y'all. That's when I checked out. Y'all ain't shit
Okay.
for that because I
Like,
can't
come on
believe they
now.
did that, and I can't believe to this day Queen was able to like get away with that shit. I'm only making this video because a lot of y'all have reached out to me and told me that a lot of my old videos about these people have gone viral, and many of my other videos are going viral on TikTok. So I appreciate everyone that still watches me to this day. But let me finally just make a video and just say F it because a lot of y'all want my honest thoughts about the recent controversy. Just to quickly sum it up, because I'm sure a lot of y'all are just irritated and confused. This all started because Queen put up this tweet that said, I feel like TikTok being gone will open doors back up for artists who make real
We talked about
music.
this. We talked about this tweet. One of these videos, I'll leave it up here because Chris was, I mean, Clarence, the C's, they look alike, they sound alike. I'm just playing, but Clarence was going off on people because of how they reacted to her saying this stuff.
People were disgusted and irritated because again, this generation loves them some TikTok, and essentially she got a lot of backlash. And people told her she needs to humble herself and remember where she came from, because if it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't know who she is. And a lot of TikTok creators felt away because this is how a lot of them feed their families, how a lot of them build their businesses, and how a lot of them are able to chase their dreams. So it's almost as if she was kind of like hype about TikTok disappearing, which I get why she'd be irritated because again, when was the last time y'all listened to Queen's new music? I mean, Queen is dropping new music probably like every 2 to 3 months. And I
Whoa.
mean, when was her last song? When was her last album? Most of us don't care and weren't paying attention. And TikTok music plays a very big role in that. Her
Now I like Queen music, but maybe she got some bad marketing or something or bad promo. Cause I liked her album, but let me find out she been dropping stuff. I ain't heard none of it. Wow.
music is music you have to listen to. And to be honest with you, no one is checking for her shit on TikTok. Chris was quick to defend her from the backlash because he claimed that fans were asking him to interject, which I find really odd.
The audacity. All right, so let's talk about it. Somebody just DM me and said, "You not gonna defend your baby mama?" They getting on her on Twitter. I said, "Huh? What? That don't be in her right mind. That be in her left
She
mind.
gotta be in her
Cause when she
left.
know how to defend somebody who ain't defend me for over 6 years, I've been bullied on this app."
And essentially, Clarence jumped in the comment section and said, nobody even asked him that, basically implying that Chris is just looking for attention.
What the fuck you waiting on, Jesus? At this point, that nigga waiting on Jesus to come back. That nigga get up to heaven. Oh, Queen, I was gonna marry you. It's too late. Jesus here.
And just to skip all the details, it led to a very ugly back and forth, not only on
Yes.
Twitter, but also on Livestream, where they
Twitch.
both went on Twitch. They both went on Livestream, reacting to each other's TikToks and videos and so much more. Chris threw out low blows, saying, why don't you worry about marrying Queen instead of getting mad at me capitalizing off of a relationship I had before you existed, and so much more. And Clarence called Chris bitter, and then it escalated even to lower blows.
So fun, y'all. Why didn't I been think about doing shit like this? I get to stay home and just talk shit. This shit is just so fun. Like, this shit is just fun. Claire Bear.
You a
He said
stay
I put a.
you are a stay at home deadbeat dad.
Whoa.
This nigga literally don't leave the house.
I'm sorry.
You supposed to get a female
It's not funny. It caught me off guard. It's not funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
of the world, and she the one that gave you the world, my nigga. I'm confused. Cause I gave her the world. And she...
Let's address that. I'm sorry, this video might be an hour and 30 minutes long, bro. You gave her the world. Chris, the only thing you gave her was a beautiful child and a Jeep Wrangler, gang. I'm not gonna lie. There's more to the world than Houston and YouTube, gang. I've taken my girl all over the world, gang, out the country. I've got her several cars, which y'all be on my dick about.
85% of them purses in her thing, and she probably has 30 to 40 purses. 85% of those purses was bought by me, gang.
And how did you get this money, gang? Were you hiding it in your basement, under your mattress, on the floor? Let's just be for real for a second. It's a shame that he feels the need to brag about all the great things he's done for Queen. It's almost like he wants to brag about the fact that he's a complete up.
I forgot you can't be drinking or doing anything with Troyce because he'll say so. He'll just say anything. I almost spit my tea out. Okay, okay.
Upgrade from Chris. Who even watches his YouTube videos? You know, I sit there sometimes and I try to like investigate and watch and try to get a feel of like what I'm talking about and what people are talking about, what people want me to talk about. And sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll be like I'm just bored scrolling through Instagram reels while his videos are playing because I just cannot I can't get into what the few people who watch his videos are getting into.
Ooh.
Clarence made a very good point when he was reacting to Chris's petty TikTok videos, and he essentially said, "You're just mad because I have the life that you wish you had."
Which is the reason why you do what you do. You're able to not be in your son's life. Why? Because of me.
This is when they was together, been together for like 2-3 years already. I text her, she ain't never text me back though, because you know Clarence be regulating her phone. You know Clarence got her iCloud and shit. You know Clarence got her location.
This nigga seems upset.
So you do?
See, let me talk to you real quick.
You do?
Relationship is not just one over the other. It's not I control you or you control me.
It's joint.
It's a unity.
It be joint. For sure, it ain't nothing to have somebody location. If you in a relationship, you committed. That's usually a given if you acting right in a relationship. It's the iCloud thing. What you mean you got her iCloud? What's that about? iCloud, like the login information, the password, you can see all that. Yeah, but the location, yeah. Duh.
That's why you find yourself alone. Like this.
Goddamn.
In your room. This ain't your house.
He's been no. That's what happened to cheaters and women. I mean, men that be doing women wrong all the time. Like you gonna get that karma, baby. It's gonna keep you down. You'll stay low. You won't be able to prosper if you can't do other people right. So maybe he didn't got his healing and did what he needs to do. That's why he coming up now. Like he's literally everywhere. Maybe, but when you do that wrong, karma is real and it's gonna keep you down. Like you can't just do and treat anybody how you want to and think it ain't gonna come back to you. Cause you know Chris and Queen history, at least what we know of it, was just like a lot of lying, a lot of scamming, a lot of cheating, infidelity, and you know you got to feel that back once you do it. So
This is your room. Don't end up like this, y'all.
oh.
See, people try to trick me out of my position for being a good nigga, bro.
You have roommates. You're broke. You have nothing. You've lost a lot of your momentum. People don't care about you no more. And your YouTube fame has ran out. And now I got the life you want. I got the girl. I got the house. I got the nice cars. I got all these things. Because even though him and Queen were doing well financially, Chris managed most of the money. When Queen decided to separate herself from Chris, she was down bad. She didn't really have much money. She only had a couple $1,000s in her account, and she had a separate YouTube channel all to herself. So if it really wasn't for her music career, she probably wouldn't be so financially well off like she is now. And she was able to get away from Chris because she also had her own fan base outside the relationship because she was making music and she did have her own YouTube channel. However, Chris managed everything and he squandered a lot of their income. It kind of reminds me of, even Ken from Dear and Ken. As y'all know,
Woo!
De'Ara from Dear and Ken is suing her ex
Yeah.
because he can't even afford to taxes or split the taxes with her because they owe a shit ton of money in taxes. And he doesn't want to help her pay any of it because she's the one who's financially well off because when she walked away and left, she took all the fans and followers with her. So it's kind of a situation with Queen where now Chris doesn't really have much to really stand on. I mean, he tries to go into other relationships, and that seems to really hold up a little bit, but then eventually it dies down and goes away. The chemistry is never really the same. His channel doesn't really blow up and get as many views as it used to, and social media has changed. The trajectory of the internet has evolved to the point where a lot of people aren't eating on the internet like they once were. And Chris is a prime example of that. So Clarence decided to go on live stream and he threw out a lot of low blows saying, you're a deadbeat and I'm taking care of your son and I buy this and you can only buy your son Wii Bucks and this, that, and the third.
But me and Queen have made millions, gang. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make this about money, gang. But when you start saying the world and shit like that,
which to me is very fucked up because who the hell do you think you are saying, well, I'm taking care of your son, I got this, I got that, I'm paying for this. You really shouldn't go there. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I will say out of these two arguing and these two having their petty disputes, the main culprit and the main problem in the situation is Queen. Queen is obviously
And I already said, y'all, she ain't gonna say nothing. She will eventually, like, she gonna eventually have to say something, but I think she don't want to be a part of it. And I think he finna explain why. Let's see if he kind of on the same program I'm on.
bashing one to the other person because how does how does Chris know and Chris have a gut feeling and Chris making all these videos sporadically throughout the year come out and he's saying, oh well, he just be sitting in the house all day, she the breadwinner, she this, she that. It's kind of like what I said, where Chris knows something we don't know. It seems like Queen is probably frustrated and upset, and sometimes she's sporadically texting Chris saying things such as, oh well, Chris, Clarence did this and I gotta pay for this, I gotta pay for that, Clarence don't do anything. And it seems like she's doing the same thing with Chris, where she's making herself out to be the victim.
She done bought you all your gifts. She done did everything. This boy got short people syndrome. He don't know what the fuck. He don't know who the fuck you talking to.
When people are so used to being the victim, sometimes they get so comfortable in that role that they have to constantly try to maintain it as much as possible, even if it means making it seem like everybody's out to get them. Y'all ever dealt with somebody that thinks everybody's out to get them and they always jump from person to person to person, wearing multiple masks, multiple faces to make it seem like they're always the victim in a situation? What does Chris know that Queen is telling him? What does Clarence know? Why did Clarence feel the need to lash out like this? I feel like Clarence is also, in a sense, jealous of Chris because he hates the fact that Chris will always be able to eat off of Queen's name and he will never be the only one who will ever be able to profit off of Queen's name because Chris found her first. Chris was also Queen's first love, and Chris was also the first person that she ever had a kid with. So she
Yeah,
has a
first baby
different type of
daddy.
connection to Chris, and Queen will
Yeah.
never 100% be his. Clarence will always be compared to Chris, not only by the fans, but also by Queen. I think Clarence is one of those narcissistic guys that sometimes get off on being better than the ex. There are sometimes where you date a guy or date someone and they'd be like, oh, well, I'm better than him. Or, he did all that to you. See, yeah, I'm not.
Oh, I just dealt with something like that. That is, I don't know why people think that's
Like
okay.
I might have smacked Queen across the room, but at least I ain't wave a gun in her face, or I might have cheated on Queen 60 million times with some transgender D, but at least I'm not Chris. At least I'm not. At least I don't have an everlasting cough. At least I'm not that. And some people and some dudes who are narcissistic and do have low self-esteem will sometimes do that because why does he feel the need to compare himself? Like, oh, I got this. I bought her cars. I bought her purse. Why do you feel the need to bring that up to us? Why do you feel the need to even tell us that? That's literally none of our business that you're buying Queen cars and clothes. I mean, that's Queen's money realistically. You wouldn't
Ooh,
even have the means to buy her all these cars if it wasn't your attachment to her. You see what I mean? Yeah, you bought her cars. Yeah, you bought her purses. But why is that relevant to even bring up in the first place? Why do you even care so much to try to tell us that? It seems like Queen is always comparing Chris to him, and that probably affects him mentally. He's lashing out at Chris probably because in his head he thinks, oh, well, I'll never be Chris, and Chris is always being bought up in our household because she has a kid with him, and she'll never be exclusive to me. I'll always have to share her. And it's true. You'll always have to share someone that has a kid with somebody else.
somebody else. Yep.
So it seems like this is so much deeper than just petty disputes and petty social media wars. It seems like they both know something and they both been dealing with something that we don't even see behind the scenes. For example, it's also kind of petty and weird that Clarence feels the need to bring up how he thinks Chris is low-key gay and how, oh, Chris had this feminine guy picking up, CJ at the airport from New York because, Chris didn't want to do it. They had this feminine guy picking this guy up.
You want to play another game with true or false game?
You can have friends. That don't mean you freaking on them. That be people problem now. I think you got to freak on everybody. Like, well, that's his friend or something.
Let's play. True or false? The last time you had CJ picked up from the airport, like from the Atlanta airport, was that man not Paul's? I don't know who that man is, but was he or was he not Paul's? I don't know what he is to you. I don't know who that is, gang. We were highly confused on why you sent that man to come pick up your son. I don't know who that is. Never seen him before in your videos. Never seen him. But was he not Paul's? True or false? Who is that to you? Don't skip this question either. Who is that to you?
Chris, there's something you want to tell us? Why is it our business? Why are we in this group chat? Who cares that there was a feminine guy picking up baby CJ? Why do you care so much to bring up his sexuality? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, even if Chris is bisexual or Chris does swing the other way, why is that even relevant in the conversation? You know what I mean? I get he's upset, and I get he feels the need to always bring up, well, he's bullying Queen. He's picking on Queen. How is he picking on Queen? He really only brings up Queen when the fans tag him and stuff, and he really only brings up Queen when she's in some drama and he wants to get a clickbait title. He doesn't bash Queen. He doesn't call Queen no bitch. He doesn't call her lame. How is he bullying Queen? In what way have y'all seen him bully Queen? Because
Clarence don't want nobody speaking on his lady, regardless, and especially not the other baby daddy. So that's something he gotta deal with within himself. That's why if you don't got kids, I digress.
I haven't seen him bully Queen. So it's little stuff like that that I see that makes me really think this probably isn't about him bullying Queen. This is probably about the fact that Clarence will never ever have full control over Queen like
Correct.
how Chris does. If Clarence is in
Whoa.
bed with Queen, relaxing, watching TV, he'll always have to rely on the fact that she will literally get up and just check her phone real quick or have a private conversation with Chris about their son. And that probably infuriates him because even if Chris talks all that shit on the internet, he can't just say, oh, you gotta block Chris. He can't block Chris. She can't block Chris because she's
Nope.
co-parenting. So you'll always have to put up with him if you actually want to be with her. So that's what I think the real issue is as a whole. But my honest, deep, honest opinion about everything is Clarence is probably never going to marry Queen because Clarence is obviously content with his life. He'll get on camera and say, we're happy. But Queen has made it very clear, even in Q&A sessions, that she's not fully happy with the fact that she's not married. She won't say it, but Clarence is speaking up for her and speaking for her. And Queen would just sit back and be quiet. But it's very clear that she does want to be married and she does want a, God-given relationship and marriage, and she does want to be guided in so much more, and she does want to build a life and build a legacy, and she wants a traditional household. Clarence just won't give it to her because Clarence is probably sniffing out his options and probably thinks that this whole lifestyle is going to eventually end. Clarence wants to make sure he invests in the right stocks, invests in the right crypto, get his business together, and then eventually he'll probably part ways and separate himself from Queen. So hear me out. I feel as though that Clarence's biggest fear is ending up like Chris. He's not going to marry Queen because he's probably sniffing out his option and wants to make sure his life is 100% secured. If he really was content with Queen, he would have already married her. You have a baby with her. You have no problem waiting 9 months to help her push out a baby. You have no problem getting a house with her, signing a title for a car with her, co-signing cars for her. You have no problem booking trips and spending thousands of dollars on purses and cars. You can't pay thousands of dollars for a ring to fully solidify everything. I mean, let's be real, it's his choice, and it's really none of our business what he decides to do. But let's just be honest. I mean, you are in a public relationship. You say you have love for her, and Queen said herself that she wants to get married. Clarence is not going to marry her because he knows she's not the one. But his biggest fear, I'm sure, is ending up just like Chris, high and dry with roommates and not much money or accolades to even worry about. He wants to make sure he's completely secured and invested. And that's how a lot of New York men are. A lot of these crazy, toxic
Mm.
men in New York who are real easy on the eyes want to make sure they get as much as they can before they dispose of these women. And to be honest, she's going to learn the hard way. I'm sure he has love for her, but he's not in love with her. In reality, it was all just a rush of things, and he has built a very lit lifestyle off of her name. So he's not going anywhere. And Queen already provided too much for him anyways. Why would he want to give up his life going to Turks and Caicos when he feels like it, sitting in his room, talking about spicy every damn day, and just sitting on stream making thousands of dollars? Why would he give that up? The minute he gives that up, it's gonna be just like Chris. His views are gonna go down, his looks are gonna go down, his sales are gonna go down, and no one's gonna care about him anymore. Clarence wants to make sure he's completely secured, and to be honest, I'll give him a year before he decides to say, "Fuck it, I'm done, I'm over it."
About unity. Just because you're in a fake relationship don't mean you know nothing about unity. When are you ever with your family? I'm confused.
Why does Chris keep saying that this relationship is fake?
Fake.
What does Chris know? What is Queen telling him? Queen is the problem. She's the common denominator in all of this. She's the one. She's gossiping about both of them to both of these guys individually. She still has private conversations with Chris that Clarence will never know. Clarence is still going through her phone and seeing conversations between the two of them. Clarence is probably still stepping out of their particular relationship. So that's why he probably won't marry her, because he probably knows deep down inside, well, she got my son, we got this team going on, I might as well just stay and settle with this. It's the lifestyle. If Queen didn't provide a lifestyle and they were living in the projects, he would have dumped her ass a long time ago. If Queen wasn't able to help him elevate, he wasn't able to leech off of her name, he would have dumped her ass a long time ago. New York dudes are the biggest scammers ever. The pretty boys, the charming guys are always usually the biggest, most cunning, most conniving guys ever, because those are the guys that are able to leverage their physical appearance, play it cool, play it calm, and eventually get as much as they can so that way they can eventually get rid of you. Clarence is eventually going to separate himself. They're going to write a big ass note apology on Instagram and social media saying that they're sorry that they can't work things out, but they got to separate themselves. There's eventually going to be a time where they're going to put up a big ass note apology, and then Queen's going to come out with a new sequel to medicine called NyQuil or some shit. First, you mock Chris for having roommates and not having his own house no more and not having a car. And who the fuck makes fun of somebody for not having a car? Like that's kind of corny. That's kind of lame.
In this economy, let's even talk about how you got a car. Whew.
What if some people just can't afford it? You mock him for not being able to afford certain things, but you couldn't even afford these things for yourself before Queen came in the picture. You couldn't afford to buy 7 cars. You couldn't afford to buy her all these purses before she came into your life. Be careful what you laugh at, because the very same thing you laugh at and mock will eventually be your reality. Watch out for making fun of people who are, struggling financially and are poor and have no money and are struggling to get a car. And oh my God, you got to get roommates now, because that could be you in the next 2 years. Look at Ken from Dear and Ken. We thought he was going to be doing so well, so fine. They were literally building a house from the ground up. Once they broke up, look what happened. Dear took all the fans with her. Be careful what you laugh at, what you mock, because
The thing is, usually the people be saying for the women, like, who want to tune in to what the failed baby daddy or the man that was cheating on the woman? Like, who wants to tune in to what they got going on? Men's usually the problem, so what are we going to go be around some negativity for?
the very same thing that you shit on could be you. You may think it will never be you, but it can be you. Anything can happen to anybody. It can happen to me. I could be doing so okay now, being able to travel and do cool things, and then the next 5 years, life happens. You never know who can go through illness. You never know who can be sick. You never know who could wake up one day and get their car totaled. You even never know, watching this, if you might get laid off at your job. And then what? 2 paychecks away from probably losing every fucking thing.
Like this. In your room. This ain't your house. This is your room. Don't end up like this, y'all.
You never know what you'll lose and what you'll gain, and what life can happen. I remember Lauren London spoke about this years ago, and she said that for her, she thought she was untouchable at some point, unstoppable, and thought that life cannot get any better than this. And she said that life and the universe simply taught her that you're not immune to life happening to you. So Clarence has a lot of growing up to do if you're just gonna mock and shit on people for being broke and having less than you. But that's that for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this whole
because that could literally happen to you at any moment. Because I like he was saying, if we gonna be honest, who's really tuning in if Queen is not attached? Usually how it go. Y'all, this was a real entertaining video. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I got places to be, but I can say, this did open my eyes to the perspective of, Queen Naija really do have to still speak with Chris and be in a relationship with Clarence. So I'm not sure how things are going behind closed doors. You never really know. You never know. But I gotta head on out of here. Leave other topics and videos you'd like for me to react to down in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.